Hey, how you doing? And welcome to another edition of a Batyard Review. We're reviewing Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Is that what that's?
I don't
that's
remember.
it, right?
I think so.
God, the new one that came out in 2019, Godzilla 2.
Godzilla 2.
So,
2. It's like Godzilla 2, 3.
Yeah.
Like it's like the third Godzilla 2.
is it? Wait, how's it the third one?
I don't know.
Because
There's
like
so
a
many-
King Kong, I guess you could kind of count that in the franchise, or.
I don't know. There's so many different like small franchises. Like it's like.
Well, anyway, this is Godzilla 2. Tony, you've seen the first one, and I have not, with Bryan Cranston. And I heard he's the best part of the movie, but he eventually dies. How does this compare to that?
I remember absolutely nothing from Godzilla. The first one, like 2015, whatever year it came out.
I think it was 14.
Absolutely nothing. And I remember things from this movie, so I think that's.
I mean, we just seen this.
We did just see it, but like I don't know. Like that movie was kind of. I don't know.
I heard there's not a lot of Godzilla. From what I heard, there's not like when they cut to it, it's like on a newsreel or something like that, and they cut right away to like the human characters. But there is a shit ton of Godzilla in this movie. There's a shit ton of battles. There's a lot of monsters. There's what is it? Randor?
It was
Rancor.
There's Godzilla. It's Rodan. King
Ghidorah, right?
And Mothra.
Yeah. Right? And they have a Rancor at the end of the movie, which is like that's at the that's a minor spoiler
they're
for you guys.
They're teasing a crossover between Godzilla and Star Wars.
And Rancor. So, overall, that was definitely the best parts of the movie. Was whenever Godzilla was fighting something.
Yeah.
There was a lot of cheesy dialogue, a lot of stupid monologues. The human characters were definitely the weakest part of the movie.
Most of them.
There was like one scientist guy.
Yeah.
Who was the asshole guy in Billy Madison? I forget the character's name. I forget the actor's name. We'll show here. He was probably the best character because he actually had a character.
I like the Japanese guy. He was cool.
He
did not. Yeah,
he didn't really have a character.
He didn't have a
was
character.
just like boring.
He
was just boring Japanese man.
He was a lot. He was like he didn't have a character, but he was better than the bad characters. So.
Yeah, the dad was pretty bad. Who whispered all his lines of dialogue, every line of dialogue.
I thought people in the theater were gonna get like really mad at us because we were just laughing at like every point of dialogue.
We literally laughed at every cheesy line. I think probably every 10 minutes we were laughing, and like I think
nothing was happening in the movie. It was just dialogue.
Yeah,
the guy was just whispering all of his lines for absolutely no reason.
It was definitely dragging. Like there was at least half an hour of footage they could have cut from this movie, and you would have lost absolutely nothing. And once the mom has her whole monologue about like the rightful place of all these destroy all monsters, like they kind of own the world. You know, we should like get rid of the human population. It was really ridiculous how she said it. It was like literally like line for line dialogue. It was like, oh well, the dinosaur, they own the world, they're gods, and like we're just poison to earth or something like that. It was literally her face talking to the screen, telling the audience what the hell her motive is.
And then you got it. You got like, what she was saying,
and then she
said it for another 5 minutes.
She kept going. I was literally like rolling. I was like, holy shit, this is serious.
The other character's like, wait, what are you saying?
Yeah. I'm saying that we need to restore the natural order. Like, shit like that, where it just kept going on. It was super ridiculous. Fucking Eleven from Stranger Things. She was boring too. Every human character, that whole family was so boring. I didn't care if they died. Like, I was kind of hoping that they would just get stepped on during like the many battles with like, especially in Antarctica when he's fighting King Ghidorah.
Oh, you thought he was gonna die that early?
Well, I mean, like they could have died pretty quick because there's so many close calls where like Godzilla's tail was literally inches from him, but he doesn't touch them. You know, it's like even it was like a lot of stuff with like the 1998 Godzilla. I don't know if you remember that. It was like 99. Fucking, there's this one scene where Hank Azaria is like filming the Godzilla. He's like getting the footage, and the Godzilla literally steps like where he is, but he goes in between his toes. It was almost in that direction. It wasn't like as like in your face as that was, but like it was pretty bad with like all the close calls. There's so many. Um,
How do you feel about the monsters?
Monsters were great. What is it? Rodan.
Yeah.
Rodan was cool. I liked the whole imagery of that.
Yeah.
King Ghidorah, right? Is it
was
Ghidorah?
like the three-headed one, yeah.
Yeah, that one was cool. Like when Godzilla rips his fucking head off,
Yeah.
and then it grows a new head. I was like, holy shit,
Yeah,
that was
that's
cool.
sick.
I liked how they did that.
Like they're good
little
at that kind of
regeneration.
stuff. Like,
Yeah, like the thing with they're like kind of reading like biblical texts and everything, like how these like animals were like kind of more like, you know, they were here in ancient times and they are the rightful owners of planet Earth, and that like basically the human population is like a bunch of fucking ants building hills or whatever. They kind of touch upon that with Leviathan. Isn't that like an ancient that's an ancient monster in biblical text? Well, like I wish they kind of dove into that more so, like so you kind of get the understanding of like how Godzilla worked with like this ancient civilization.
Yeah.
It was basically like they found Atlantis.
yeah, exactly. And there was like shit, like text on the wall and like stuff, and they
Yeah.
didn't really talk about it, but they showed
It was like hieroglyphics, but
Mhm.
it was like, I don't know, some different ancient society. I was just guessing it was freaking Atlantis. So Aquaman's people worship fucking Godzilla. So
Oh, that's coming next.
Yeah.
The Aquaman
Well,
Godzilla crossover.
it's kind of funny because in Justice League they have like a mural of Aquaman like giving the people fish or whatever the fuck, you know?
Really?
Yeah, I'll show an image. It's pretty close to Godzilla. So it was the same kind of hieroglyphics. So same kind of writing. So the Atlanteans, they work with Godzilla. I mean, it would fucking make sense because Aquaman rides that giant fucking squid monster at that, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Probably the same.
Probably one of the what are they called? The monster, they have like some weird name. I don't remember.
It was probably,
Kaiju.
Yeah, Kaiju. It was
Yeah.
probably like Godzilla's fucking nephew or something like that.
Yeah, they made up a bunch of kaiju for this movie, and one of them there was like a woolly mammoth, and it was the coolest thing.
Oh yeah, that fucking like gorilla woolly mammoth. Now, like I want to know more about that.
Yeah,
thing.
they didn't show him nearly enough. They had like little shots of him destroying cities, and I was like, damn, that one like
it
actually
had
looks cool.
literally like a gorilla body, like its hands and everything, and how it moved, and it had a fucking mammoth head. I was like, holy shit, that's awesome. I don't know if that was in any other.
No, they made it up for this movie.
Did they?
Yeah.
Did they say that?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh,
And,
okay,
like, they
that's
just-
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so I mean, we're gonna go into minor spoilers. Okay, spoilers. The only spoiler I want to mention is that Godzilla eventually becomes king of all monsters.
Yeah.
And then the mammoth thing, the mammoth gorilla man, Rodan, the Rancor, they all go around, worship Godzilla, and like kind of praise him at the end of the film.
Yeah.
Which they were kind of praising King Ghidorah. I feel like I was saying that wrong. King Ghidorah.
Yeah.
Is it King Ghidorah?
It's Ghidorah or Ghidorah? I don't know.
Yeah, I think
Something
you could
like that.
pronounce it
I
many
don't
different
even know.
ways. So they end up praising Godzilla. I gotta say, this movie is entertaining. It definitely drags.
Oh my god. I remember the very end of the movie, like the final fight, like I was into it for a little bit, then it got to a point, we went late.
Yeah.
We went to the theater at like 8 or something.
Yeah,
And I remember I was thinking,
like 11 or something.
I was like thinking like,
so long.
is Cinnabon still open in the mall? Like instead of watching the movie, I was like, is shit still open?
Yeah, exactly. I was just thinking about food for like the last hour of it. You know, it definitely drags. I mean, you'll get your money's worth with the battles and everything. The cinematography wasn't that grand. Excuse me. It wasn't that grand. Like I wish they used more of like a size of the scope, kind of like showing how big these monsters really were. But the shots were kind of generic, and they showed they showed a little bit of like the size of Mothra in the beginning when it's hatching. You know, they're kind of showing their point of
that
view.
was really cool. That
was kind of it.
Yeah.
I thought that did look cool.
Yeah.
And then there's some fucking militia who wants to gather all these monsters and release them. And that's the basic plot of this movie. And Millie Bobby Brown, or whatever her name is, 11. She's if you like her in Stranger Things, you know, that's cool because she has a character. In this, she's pretty fucking boring. So, Tony, what would you rate this? Gojira 2.
Are we doing like numbers?
I don't know. I guess that's what. However Tony wants to rate it.
Fun time, dumb movie.
Yeah,
That's my rating.
Fun time, dumb movie. Yeah, I don't know if I could really put a number on this. I'll probably give it like a 6 or a 5.
Yeah.
Somewhere between a 5 or a 6. I don't know. Maybe I'll give you a final rating by the time I edit this.
Yeah.
But so far, it's in between there.
Yeah.
I don't really need to see this movie again. I'd probably, if you have if you're a Godzilla fan, definitely see it. If you're not really interested in like this stuff, I would definitely wait. It'll be like definitely a rental and just fast forward through all the human scene and watch fucking Godzilla kill all these monsters.
It's not worth it.
Yeah. Definitely I recommend the first Godzilla, the 1954 film. That's
excellent.
That's an excellent piece. It's actually pretty serious. It kind of draws upon with Hiroshima, bombings and everything like that. So it's kind of an allegory for that. But so if you're interested in Godzilla and you don't know where to start, I would start there. You have any final thoughts or sayings or words you want to say out there to the people at home?
Do you remember the part where like how many nukes do you have?
Mm-hmm.
That was really good.
Oh, I kind of remember that. Is that when they're like, when they're blowing the shit out of Godzilla? And then the guy who's like trying to protect Godzilla like basically kills himself.
Yeah.
Why does he even go out there? I don't even remember. They go to
the firing systems are broken, so he has to like walk it out there.
He has to manually do it or something
like
fucking
that.
stupid.
I just remember
I was spacing out at that point.
I was just like
yeah, I was definitely like, okay, please just move on. So
it was
that character that everyone loved, that guy, he died. So I'm sorry to hear that. Of fans of him, I can't name anyone. All the characters in this movie, you can't name. I challenge you to try to name at least 5 of the characters. I can't even name one.
I can't either.
Maybe I think one of them was Rick. I think the one I liked was Rick. I could be wrong. I think it was Rick. That's all I got. That's all the information I got out of this movie.
Yeah.
It's definitely a movie I would forget all the human scenes pretty instantly, but all the monster fights they'll probably resonate for a long time. So
the monsters looked cool.
Monsters look great. So wait for a rental, And Tony, you have anything else you want to add? All right, that was Backyard Review. Josh and Tony, now signing out. This was Gojira, King of Gojira.